Hello, parents. A little bit different this week in cross-country communication, but I just want to take a moment to go over a little bit about what to expect over the next 2 weeks of training for your son or daughter. As you may be aware, the NGSI-AA has designated the next 2 weeks, starting this past Saturday until the 13th, as a non-contact coach, student, athlete period, to allow everybody to kind of get back to school without the added stress of athletics on top of that. So for the next 2 weeks, we need to have your son or daughter following training plans that they can find in their Final Surge application, whether it's on their smartphone or on their computer or Chromebook, such as the one you're seeing right now. As you can kind of see, I'm scrolling down here for the first week of September, and you can kind of see some of the workouts that are already in there for them. So the last time that we met, which was last Wednesday, I shared with them some very exciting news from my family that Mrs. Ward and I are expecting a baby girl in late January, early February, which is exciting for our family. I also found out in that same day that the school accepted an accommodation, or I should say approved an accommodation for me to teach from home until the baby is born and maybe after. The bittersweet part of that, which is what I explained to your children, was that I will no longer be able to coach them for the rest of the season. So I'm going to be handing over the reins of the cross-country program to Coach Marley and Coach Ambrosino for the season. Unfortunately, I won't be able to be in person coaching or watching. However, I will be monitoring their progress via this application that I'd like to show you a little bit about for a few minutes here. So over this next 2 week period, they will find all their workouts in their Final Surge account, which is our coaching platform. So as you can kind of see here, I'm going to scroll up here is August. And you're obviously at the end of August here. So their first workout of this week is scheduled for Monday. Simply when you kind of scroll over what it looks like, you can see that it gives a very quick 25 minutes out and back. Try to run the canal path if possible run. If you click on it to get more information, such as the view, it gives just a little bit more information, including how long they should be running for, and that they'll be able to find all their workouts in their team calendar for the next 2 weeks. So again, scroll up here, September, we can see there's a bunch of workouts are already in for that 2 week period. And then once we get back to school, starting on the 14th, I should say back to coaching on the 14th, you can see that our practice schedule is a Monday, Tuesday, in-person run. Wednesday off as everyone is home for remote learning, as will the coaches be at home. We figure this is a great kind of break in the middle of the week to allow them to get that extra time to catch up on schoolwork or do something with the family on their own. They're back to a supervised workout on Thursday. And then on Fridays, we call it our virtual workouts, where they have a run scheduled that they can do prior to the beginning of the school day. Since they're starting a little bit later, they can do it right after school. They can do it in the evening. As long as they're doing it on that day, they'll fulfill the requirements for completing their training. And then Saturdays will be our lone kind of, I don't want to say lone, but hopefully at least one towpath run of the week. We'd like to see if maybe during the season we can schedule during the week a towpath run, but we certainly will be using Saturdays as our long run days in the towpath, whether it's going towards Stockton or going south on the canal on the Jersey side or going over the Pennsylvania side and going to Bowman's Tower as an example. For our runs. So they'll be able to find all of their run workouts in their Final Surge app for the next 2 weeks and throughout the season. One other thing I'd like to show you, and you're looking right now at the the athlete screen, and one other area is called Daily Vitals. I'm going to click on Daily Vitals, and you can see a bunch of dates listed here: 8/31, 8/30, going back in time here. This is all the information that their Garmin Vivo Sport Watch, which is what they've been given for the season, can do for them at count steps. If we wanted to, we could ask them to put their weight in, but it's not necessary, same as body fat percentage. But the one interesting kind of metric measurement that we would like them to start doing is using their Garmin Vivo Sport, keep it on at night, so that they can not only keep track of sleep hours, but also what is their resting heart rate in the morning. And when the resting heart rate stays at kind of a stable number throughout a week or a couple weeks, we know that they're well rested. If their resting heart rate is a bit higher than normal, we know that may be either overtired or possibly sick. If their resting heart rate is lower than normal, we know that their fitness is improved. So that's one metric we like to keep track of. But that does kind of require your son or daughter to measure their heart rate, or at least keep it on at night. And then when they wake up in the morning, tap on their watch to get what is their resting heart rate. The other one, as I go across here, is sleep. And since the Garmin VivoSport does keep track of sleep, they can look at that number and then just enter it manually. So these are the two things they must add manually: their resting heart rate and their sleep hours or wake hours and their total amount. And they can also do a kind of a subjective, how do I feel in the morning versus quality of sleep, stress they may be having. Well, we're not measuring blood pressure, but it's just a good way for us to kind of see what's going on in their bodies so that we can monitor their training. So if we find that as a group, we have a really low resting heart rate for a given week, we know it's time to increase the volume of the running, or maybe add some harder pace workouts or harder heart rate workouts. Or if we find as a group that they're all kind of struggling a bit with a little bit higher resting heart rate, not getting a lot of good sleep, maybe like the beginning of the school year, we might dial back the volume a little bit or have less hard workouts. Or if we see individually someone's really struggling with their resting heart rate in the morning, meaning that they get a little bit higher than normal, we could give them a different workout than the rest of the team to kind of get them back on that, kind of get back to where we'd like them all to be. So this is the one area that we really would like them to use their Garmin VivoSport to help us monitor what's going on in their bodies, so we can subscribe the best training for them. So that's a quick introduction to Final Surge. They have their own accounts that they've set up and coaches monitor. So please, feel free to ask them for their account information, see what their workouts are, and keeping track of all their information. I'm disappointed that I won't be able to be with them the rest of the season, because it's one of the sport I love to coach. I love running with your kids, and I'm going to miss all of the interactions we have and the conversations while running. However, right now, for me, being home is the best for my son, who's literally at my feet in his walker, and as we wait for a baby girl ward to arrive in 2021. But along the way, I will keep in contact with the coaches, maybe even sending out some communications on my end. So I will be with them virtually, and unfortunately not personally, but I look forward to seeing their progress, and of course, hoping that the season goes as planned in terms of we have races and they're able to run at sectionals, which is our big race of the year. So for the time being, everyone stay safe, and I'll be watching them virtually. Have a great day.